So many of us start a business to get more freedom, right? But then we wake up one day and realize it's eating up all our time, all our energy, basically our entire future. This isn't about just working harder. No, this explainer is about completely rewiring your relationship with your company so it stops needing you and starts becoming a real, true asset. And that right there, that's the uncomfortable truth we have to start with. Most business owners, they're not really building an empire. They're building a prison for themselves. I mean, think about it. If you stopped working today, would all the revenue just collapse? If the answer is yes, that's not a personal failure. It's a structural one. You know, we've all been told this lie, that being the most exhausted person in the room is some kind of badge of honor. It's not. The harder you work in your business, the less it's able to grow without you. That hustle isn't getting you any closer to freedom. It's just putting another lock on the door of that cage. Okay, so to fix this, we need a map. We need a diagnosis. This is the founder dependency curve. It's a way of seeing that every business exists somewhere on this spectrum, from totally dependent on the founder to a completely independent asset. Your stress levels, your company's growth, it's not about your personality. It's a direct result of where you are on this curve, and our goal is to move you to the right. Now, the one thing that keeps founders stuck on the wrong side of that curve is this, the responsiveness fallacy. It's that little voice in your head that's screaming, if I stop, this whole thing stops. It feels like dedication, it looks like you're being a great leader, but trust me, it is a trap. Here's the crazy part. Your constant availability, it's actually the #1 thing holding your company back. By always being the hero, the one who saves every deal, you're actually training your team to stop thinking for themselves. And you're training your clients to just bypass your systems and come straight to you. You've literally made yourself the bottleneck. Let's make this real. Let me introduce you to Alex. Now, Alex isn't a real person, but I guarantee his story feels real to a lot of you. He wakes up at 5:15 a.m. to a level 5 emergency. He dives right in and spends the next 4 hours doing work a junior designer should be doing. He skips the gym, he cancels his own strategic meetings, and he feels like a hero. But he's not. He's the bottleneck in chief. See, because he's always there to catch the falling glass, his team never learns how to hold the cup themselves. So how in the world do we fix this? Well, the fundamental shift isn't about new tactics or software. It's about your identity. You have to stop being the engine of your business and start being its architect. Let's really break down what that means. The engine, well, it produces brute force. The architect designs leverage. An engine is a requirement. It's got to keep burning fuel just to keep things moving. But the architect designs a blueprint so clear, so perfect, that 1,000 people can lay the bricks without ever having to ask where the next one goes. Their presence becomes an option, not a requirement. So I have to ask you, and be honest with yourself, which one are you? Are you down there letting bricks day in and day out, or are you the one designing the blueprint? Your answer to that question really determines your company's future and your own. All right, so if you're ready to become the architect, let's talk about the prescription. Let's get into how you actually start rewiring your business to move from total chaos to crystal clarity. You don't fix this by just pouring more water into a leaky pipe. More leads, more staff, more hours. That's pointless. You have to fix the pipe itself. Every single business has what we call silent leaks. These are little operational gaps where your time, your energy, and your money are constantly draining away, and you probably don't even notice it. And the best way to visualize these leaks is with a concept called the $1,000 coffee. It's a powerful idea. It represents the huge opportunity cost you pay every single time you do a low-value task that someone else could and absolutely should be doing instead. Let's just look at the raw numbers here. Let's say your time is worth about $2,500 an hour, but you decide to spend an hour on a task that's worth, say, $25. You didn't just save yourself $25. You actually lost $2,475 in opportunity cost. That, my friend, is the most expensive coffee you will ever drink. So this whole transformation, it happens in 3 distinct phases. First is the foundation. You do a clinical audit to find out exactly where you're leaking time and money. Second is the build. This is where you replace that founder-led chaos with system-led scale. And finally, you get to the horizon, where you accelerate revenue through speed and efficiency, not just by throwing more volume and effort at the problem. And once you've gone through this process, your job just fundamentally changes. You're not the operator anymore. You're not the firefighter. You become the visionary. Your new job is to be looking 18 months into the future, building those high-level partnerships, and protecting the incredible culture that you've built. And that brings us right back to Alex. After he rewired his business, he finally took that month-long trip he'd been dreaming of. And you know what happened? The business actually grew without him. Because he finally had space to think, he came back with one single idea that ended up tripling his company's valuation. And that is the ultimate shift, when your strategic rest becomes more valuable than your frantic work. So that brings us to the final question, and really, it's the most important one. Once you are no longer the bottleneck, once you're not just trying to survive, but you're truly leading, what will you build? The world is waiting to see what you create once your hands are finally free.